Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Data Dispatch. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. We're going to be giving you guys a quick summary on what's occurred in the market today, and specifically with Palantir Technologies. We're continuing to see a lot of buying pressure after a very large Palantir bull comes out, and a reliable one though, comes out with a new price target that could be pushing Palantir past $80 here in the near future, possibly by pre-market tomorrow. In addition, we're continuing to see a lot of projects being announced regarding a tidal wave of AI spending across the board. We got some big things occurring in the market, some statements from the new administration that we need to go through, lots of details, and Cramer even comes out with a tweet on X. So, before you get too far, thank you guys for joining in on the community. Hit that subscribe button. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm collecting all the data and dispatching it to you. Now, pop it up on the screen here. Palantir Technologies currently is at 79.21. Where Palantir was at market close was at 78.98. Number one, look at this reversal that Palantir has had since the 64. Remember, people were saying, waiting for the 50s, waiting for the 40s. Looks at that opportunity, never came. We see Palantir that has a great reversal right here, and I'm anticipating a lot more buying pressure, in my own opinion, due to the sentiment and kind of the psychology that's around AI stocks right now, right as we speak. And Palantir could possibly be entering back into the 80s, testing even all-time highs here in the near future at 84.80. Now, before we get into the details and what we've been seeing across the media, Cramer comes out saying nothing can stop Palantir, nothing 5 hours ago. That might just ruin the opportunity to touch the 80s. Last time he came out with a statement, Palantir had a pretty big drop. For the reverse Cramer theory, we'll see if this continues. I hope not. Now, talking about the actual news, what we're seeing for Palantir, AI tidal wave spending. Palantir's at the forefront of that. And with Trump administration, with the Stargate initiative, that's about $100 billion up front for funding for all these different types of AI projects, AI technologies, and AI solutions. Palantir has close governmental ties, and we've seen the numerous governmental contracts over the previous few quarters. So I think this is only a benefit for Palantir regarding Stargate. Now, one of the big things is that Dan Ives here from Wedbush comes out and actually raises his price target for Palantir to $90 per share from $75, specifically saying that the company is going to be a core winner in the trillions of AI dollars spent over the next few years, and that Palantir, which builds platforms and enables companies and government agencies to process huge amounts of data, is likely going to benefit from this AI infrastructure project. Now, I completely agree with that Palantir right now is in this sweet spot. And the fact that Palantir is continuing to be on the forefront of the news and a leader and having a competitive edge in the products that they do offer, this price target from Dan Ives is not completely out of the ballpark. And the fact that he's actually a 4-star rated here by TipRanks and closely followed, a lot of people are listening to Dan Ives. So the fact that he's reiterated the buy rating here in the shares while increasing his price target is very bullish for this stock in particular. And he even noted that AIP has a significant opportunity in both commercial and governmental markets, and which correlates to a substantial revenue growth potential. Now, talking about earnings, that's the next big thing on Palantir's list. That's going to be happening after the bell on February 3rd. On February the 3rd, earnings per share is estimated to be at 11 cents, correlated with a revenue of $776 million. We've seen 13 earnings per share revisions in the bullish direction in the last 90 days. And since the start of the quarter, all 13 top-ranked analysts that cover the name have found to revise the estimates higher. Now, looking at the fundamentals, the chart, we know Palantir is very highly valued. When Palantir starts coming down in price, you start to see a lot of articles, a lot of bearish potentials or bearish perspectives that all talk about Palantir's valuation. Hey, it's finally catching up to it. It's been disconnected. We know that Palantir is overvalued. But right now, there's a lot of momentum into the market. And that's why in the short term here, I could see Palantir popping up over the 80s. agreeing with Dan Ives on this push that we're seeing into the general market. Looking at some of these other stocks, you even have Pelosi, like we've talked about with Tempest, getting a large push here. Tempest was just at $35 here just about a week ago. So the fact that we're seeing these AI stocks that are starting to go crazy, Big Bear AI up to 420 now, that was in the 2s and the 3s. You've seen lots of different stocks. People starting to talk about AMD. If they get more involved with AI, anticipating them to possibly get up into the 200s by the end of the year. We're seeing a lot of bullishness across the board with all these tech stocks. And what you see for the market right here is the S&P 500 and the broader markets continuing to do very well. Yesterday, we talked about the whole broader market's up 3.5% already year to date, and the S&P 500 index is up 0.5% just today. Now, some of the big reasons that we're seeing here is that Trump said on Thursday in a virtual address to the World Economic Forum that he actually would demand interest rates to drop immediately. And he also asked the Saudi Arabia to lower the price of oil, which actually pushed crude stocks into the red. Short-term treasury yields, they actually fell following Trump's comments, and we're seeing excitement about potential tax cuts, deregulation under the Trump administration, as well as signs of resiliency in the economy. There's a lot of resiliency in the economy. Of course, tariffs, that's an uncertainty. We'll see what happens with that. And talking about interest rates, he can't really make direct control of interest rates, but the market likes to hear this kind of stuff. And I'd agree with that because we've already seen some disappointment with what the anticipation for interest rates are. Remember that they were anticipated to be about 4 this year. The Fed came out saying, hey, with the resiliency in the economy, now looking at about 2. So the fact that Trump is saying he's going to try to make some pushes for lower interest rates, Wall Street is really liking this. You're also starting seeing the fourth quarter earnings season that is kicking off strong, especially here with Netflix and the big banks, which will be important for the next administration. And with deregulation, the big banks are going to continue to probably do well. The big banks offering very positive reports that we're seeing. So earnings are looking well, a fresh start here. And also, in addition to that, you also have Trump talked about, with the Saudi Arabia to lower their oil prices. In a call today, the Saudi crown prince says that the kingdom intends to invest $600 billion into the U.S. during this call. Now, he wants to invest $6 billion in the United States over the next 4 years, $600 billion, and comments came here that he put a price tag on returning to the kingdom as his first foreign trip. Now, some of these comments here are continuing to come in conjunction with the project of Stargate. A lot of people are starting to criticize, saying, hey, where is all that money going to come from? If we're in such a deficit, how are we going to actually provide that? How is the government going to provide $500 billion going into AI-related solutions to technologies? However, it's a lot of the companies involved, like we've seen with SoftBank, like we've seen with OpenAI, ChatGPT, that are going to be working to provide investment funds for building these AI data centers. So with building out these AI data centers, with market share and the anticipation with how much money is going to be coming into the market and specifically into AI stocks in particular, that's where Palantir is going to continue to experience a decent amount of bullishness. We're also seeing other stocks like we covered before, SOFI doing very well. You can see this fintech stock is up about $18. I think SOFI is going to continue to climb, most likely due to the fact that the market is expecting, and even a lot of the big banks are expecting, deregulation and less control from the government. We're also going to see if interest rates reduce, that is bullish for the banks, being able to lend out more money, more interest in actual loans, and more retailers coming into the banking system. That's more revenue for these banks. Fintech, looking at SoFi, is starting to have a competitive edge and offer a lot more technological opportunities within the banking system compared to a lot of the traditional banks. So that's where I could see SoFi possibly even pushing past 20 here in the next few days. Regardless, a lot of the valuations that are a big concern right now for more of those value-oriented investors. Unfortunately, I think there's just too much excitement behind that for those types of investors. A lot of momentum continuing to push into the market here. In the short term, continuing to see bullishness. That is my prediction. Palantir crossing 80. I think that could happen in the short term. We'll see what happens. What do you guys make of all this? What's your opinion on Palantir? Dan Ives with the new price target, the other stocks we talked about, and the broader market. Peace out, take care, and I hope you guys all have a very wonderful day.